This is the number one tool that I use to figure out where the bottlenecks are in my business and for my clients. Hey there, I'm Tess Connolly and I help businesses who are feeling stuck to figure out their systems and processes so they can grow and scale effectively. If you are feeling stuck, struggling to scale, and feeling bogged down in your systems, trying to get out of your mess, this one thing will help. Process maps. Process maps are a visual representation of the steps, tasks, and decisions needed to complete a particular workflow or process within your business. They outline how work flows from start to finish, including the roles, the tools, and the systems used at each stage of the process. So let's take a real life example and I'll show you how this works. So let's say you run a carpentry business. You're going to start here. What happens first? Well, likely you're going to have some form of lead generation, whether it be from your own website or perhaps it's from Hipages or maybe you're whitelisted to a company. So the lead comes in. Then you're going to need to qualify the lead. So you're going to assess if this lead fits your niche and your availability. So now we have a decision. Is the lead qualified? If yes, we're going to move on, and if no, we're going to end the process. Now, we're going to get into this a little bit later when we dig deeper into the details, but likely this is actually not the end of the process. They might just not be a qualified lead because they need a little bit more time or perhaps a bigger budget, so you might want to reach out to that lead later on. So you're going to need somewhere to capture that lead's information. Okay, so they are a qualified lead. Probably going to want to create a quote and then send that quote to the client. Another decision. Does the client respond? If no, you're going to want to follow up. And if yes, we need to know if they have accepted the quote or not. Now, I know this seems like a lot of detail, but I promise you it is important. And the more detail you put in, the clearer your processes are going to be, which will ultimately free you up so that you actually don't have to think about these things later on down the track. Okay, so they accept the quote. Is a contract required? If no, you're going to go straight to organizing your materials. Now, if a contract is required, you're going to need to create it, send it, make sure your client signs it, store it somewhere, and confirm to the client that you have received their contract. Okay, so now we get to organize materials, track the costs, schedule the job, coordinate the contractors, track the job progress, complete the job, send the invoice, make sure they pay, hopefully get a review, and end the process. Now, you may not have all of these as part of your process, perhaps this is too broad, but you get the idea. Okay, so that's the first part. Now, here is why this is incredibly helpful. Firstly, it's likely you've probably noticed parts of the process that you haven't really thought too much about. But now it's out of your head and onto paper so that you can actually visually see exactly what happens in your business. So now what I do is I go through each little rectangle on my process map and I make comments. Anything that comes to mind about this process. Perhaps I'm not 100% clear on how it happens, or maybe I've even got ideas on how to make it more simple or work more effectively. Then I color each rectangle depending on whether or not the task is something that has to be done by a human, which I make the color orange, something that could potentially be automated, which I make the color blue, and something that is either already automated or a current system uses, which I make pink. So we often use tools like Make or Zapier to help us connect apps and automate processes so that information can flow freely from one place to another. So this part of the process, figuring out what could be automated, requires a little bit of creativity and innovation and problem solving, but if you can imagine it, I'm telling you, it can probably be done. Now, parts of this process may need more detailed workflows. For example, lead generation. So then I would begin to create separate process maps unpacking how lead generation works. So how do our leads come in? How are they captured? What happens to each of these leads? What are the qualifying factors for a lead? Is there a way that I could maybe automate the qualification process so that I don't have to manually go in and qualify each lead? And I just keep going through with each part of the process until everything is crystal clear. Now, another example could be an e-commerce business. This works literally for any business. So you might have lead generation, which goes to a website visit, which goes to product added to the cart, which goes to payment processed, order fulfilled, and a customer review request. Now, you might map out that process and then realize perhaps you're losing customers at abandoned cart. So now you can diagnose the issue. Perhaps you don't have a trigger email sequence for cart abandonment, or maybe your checkout process is just really tedious and it's turning away customers. So now you can diagnose and fix the problem and keep your systems running effectively and efficiently. Now, I know this seems like a big process. It is. But here's what happens. Once you have incredible clarity on the granular parts of your systems and your workflows, you can automate, delegate, remove confusion, set up systems to work for you so that you don't have to think about this process in the future. See, if you are struggling to scale, there is going to be a bottleneck somewhere in your business. So if you just look at your processes visually, you can spot exactly where something is getting stuck in the process. Whether it's tasks getting stuck waiting for approval, or maybe it's just general ambiguity around how a process gets done. Now, if you do this for your business, you start with a broad overview of your whole business, and then you begin to go through each process one by one and get really granular with your details, you will improve your operations and your systems immensely. Once they're clear, you can then create an SOP, a standard operating procedure, so a step-by-step process of what happens. Document it, store it where your team can easily find it, and even embed that process map so they have a visual representation of exactly how things get done. And this is particularly helpful if you are onboarding new employees and you can just guide them to your SOP process so they know exactly what to do when. So we use Lucidchart for these maps, but you can use Figma, Miro, Whimsical, any kind of diagramming application. Imagine how much easier it would be to run your business when everything runs smoothly, your team knows exactly what to do, and your systems work seamlessly in the background. That is the power of process mapping. So I hope this helps. Comment below if there is a particular process that you have decided to map out, or maybe a particular bottleneck that you are currently facing. And be sure to like and subscribe if you would like more of this type of content. Enjoy your day.